We're shifting from like a platform from creating just content for ads to actually creating a system that suggests what ad to create and gives you actually iterations. So I think really the future is about building systems, and we make thousands of videos every month. So 65-ish% are all like Instagram Reels. Another big portion is TikTok. So that's the reality. But with that said, I would bet a lot that YouTube are gonna go huge on monetizing.
In a world where creators are the faces of the brands, how important is automated influencer vetting to you?
Recently, I've been talking with a lot of people at Meta's office, and one of the things that they mentioned consistently was brand safety.
Speaking of social listening, how do you see it play a role in helping brands?
I think it makes a lot of sense, especially to find the performance signals and signs of what people like and don't like about your product.
This episode is brought to you by Phyllo, the universal solution for social media background checks and influencer vetting. If you work in background verification, brand reputation, image building, public relations, or influencer marketing, you know how crucial fast and reliable background screening is. With Phyllo Social Screening, you can run AI-powered social media background checks in just 15 minutes, spotting red flags, news mentions, and adverse media across platforms. Trusted by leaders like Global Background Screening, Gigan, Prembly, and Essential Screens, Phyllo Social Screening helps you save millions of dollars in crisis management. Check out the link in the description to book a demo today.
Hello everyone, this is Shubham Tiwari. I'm the Associate Director of Content Marketing and Social Media Marketing at Phyllo, the universal solution for social media background checks and influencer vetting. Welcome to another episode of Impulse Season 3. Today we are excited to host someone who's pushing the boundaries of how UGC data and creators come together to drive real performances and brand. Joining us from Lithuania is Donatas Smailys, the CEO and co-founder of Billo, the largest UGC video ad marketplace in the US and a Meta top 10 creative partner globally. With Billo, Donatas is not just enabling content creation, he's rethinking how authenticity, data, and AI can work hand in hand to power the next generation of creative performance. Donatas, welcome to Impulse.
Thank you, and what a great introduction. I'm humbled.
Well, we are really glad to host you. This is the first time we are hosting someone from Lithuania. Let's start on a fun note. UGC AI and creator data, as I mentioned in my introduction. Tell us what's a creator trend or a UGC video you have seen recently that made you pause and go, okay, that was, either genius or completely chaotic. And you kind of, loved it.
So maybe a little bit chaotic. I saw some creators creating videos and they're pretending to be AI avatars, but they weren't.
Wow.
So I thought that was quite interesting because, the thing is getting to indistinguishable or whatever. So I think it must cause a little bit more chaos, but I thought it was interesting though.
Do you like AI creators?
No. I would say the answer is no. If like it, no. But then again, my mind and heart is open to the future or whatever it brings. I still would prefer real creators today.
I often get, this answer as a no. But let me throw a curveball at you. Because when you said that, it's getting really blurry between reality and what AI is doing, it often takes me back to the video games. The video games nowadays are so realistic. GTAs of the world and Max Paynes of the world. So what if, take an example of, let's say, Lara Croft Tomb Raider. She's a character, will be created by AI at some point. If she is projected as a creator or she has, her own full following, what would be your feelings then with the context?
So, that's exactly the difference. Like, if I know this person is not real as a character, I'm totally fine with that. But I think that's exactly the difference. But if you're trying to convince me that this person is real, then I don't like it. That's exactly the difference. But, and then it really depends on a use case. I think for like user generated content, it's not the best use case because it just defeats the purpose. Yeah, and it only works because the person believes. But like for games, for entertainment, yes, I think it's great. So yeah, so it really depends on like the question.
Wonderful. Let's rewind a bit. Billo started in Kaunas. Is that the right pronunciation?
Yeah, it's the second biggest city in Lithuania. And it's the best, and it's the best one. The size of my city is probably like the size of like a village in India. We've got 2.7. we got 2.7 million people in the whole country, and but yeah, a small country that is very much dedicated, lots of hardworking people, and we're very hungry. The whole country is being independent for just under 30 years. So that's it. Yeah, in 2020. We launched, and actually with my co-founder, we were working on another company prior to Billo.
Wonderful. And I'm not proud of the fact that I did not know that it's the second biggest city in the country. So pardon my ignorance.
Totally fine.
Talking about Billo, you're powering content creators all over the world with 22,000 brands globally. Is that the right number? I mean, that's a very big number.
Yeah, that's a big number. That's like overall number of brands we work with since the very beginning. And I must say that we started off with like drop shippers in the very early days, and our customers have been, or the brands and agencies we work with have been getting bigger and bigger over time. So yeah, quite proud to being a part of this journey.
So you said that this is the number of brands that you've worked with so far. How many number of brands you worked at a time? Right now, how many brands do you have at Billo?
Yeah, so every month we can have like up to 1,000 brands that are using the platform.
Okay, got it. And when you started out, what problems were you trying to solve, and how has that evolved with how brands view creators today? Basically, have you able to solve that problem which you started to solve, and now what you're trying to build or solve?
Yeah, so honestly, it's shifted over time. The problem we were trying to solve is that how do we get people to create content, people who are not necessarily influencers? How do we get them to create content that brands would pay for and that it would actually be useful, like, perform? So the idea was to get as close to the customer and the actual customer as possible. And from there on, we just found this use case of we started to work in with people who are not influencers, people who have like, they could have 50 or 200 followers on Instagram. It doesn't matter. But what the good thing that they can do is actually create a video based on brief, and it works as a charm if they get a product that they actually like. So our first use case was, and we're trying different markets, and the one that sticked was video, sort of UGC video ads for Facebook in 2020, and we saw like, okay, so this is working, and creators are happy. We're onboarding them, we're vetting them, we're training them, and it's starting to work. And number of brands, sort of using the platform. And we had this one use case that we've been the best at for years, and I'm proud to say that we're number one in this niche category.
Got it. And that category is UGC?
That category is UGC video ads.
Video ads. Got it.
Exactly. Yeah. So videos are like our holy grail.
Got it. Why do you think UGC works so well? Because I'll give you my example. On my Instagram feed, I hardly get anything UGC, any UGC content. Facebook, I may see some videos. I don't see it working so well on Instagram. It may work on certain platform. I think it works better on TikTok. So please answer these two questions: why UGC works so well on some platforms, and why it works generally well. Why do you prefer it?
So I think it works well because it's a lot more relatable to the end user. And I think we are like, in the last probably decade, we shifted from trusting the brand that has been most marketed and with polished ads, like, the big brands of the world, although they're going very well. But I think what the changed in users' mindset is that I can actually buy products that are not necessarily well-established brands, and they can be good brands, they can be good products. And the best way to do it is to see a person that is very much like me talking about it, using it. And the best case scenario is that when you see a creator talking about a brand and you can feel that they actually like it and they can actually relate to it, and someone that, would be someone of my age having sort of similar problem that I want to solve with this product, and then I listen to it, I relate to it. I think that's why it works. And then why it doesn't work, for some people, you can show as many ads as you want. They just they're going to ignore it unless the neighbor says it. Yeah. Or so it really depends on the person. But in general, I think that's why it works. Okay.
So you don't agree with my first statement that it doesn't work well on certain platforms? It's because I don't see it. Am I mistaken about that? My feed is suited up, around my likings. That's why I'm not
Yeah.
seeing it.
I agree with what you're saying, that it doesn't work well on other platforms. So 65 or 70% of all orders, and we make thousands of videos every month. So 65-ish% are all like Instagram Reels. Another big portion is TikTok. And then fragments is all other platforms.
Got it.
So that's the reality. But with that said, and if we were to look at the future, I would bet a lot that YouTube are gonna go huge on monetizing, or Google are gonna go huge on YouTube and monetizing it for e-commerce and social commerce. It's a huge platform, tons of data, tons of eyes on. I think marketers should definitely have eyes on this. We're actually, yeah. I think we'll be in this space as well.
Right. And what is fake UGC? I know you've been talking about it over LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Can you tell our audience?
Yeah. So what I mean by that is, like, if UGC is, we know it takes some time. We know it takes some effort. It's not easy. You have to do back and forth. You have to find the right creators. You have to negotiate with them, sign this and that. There's payments. That's why platforms like us were born in the first place. But then why this, you can call it fake UGC or AI UGC. I don't think it should be called UGC in the first place. Why it works is that the grandma is looking at the fake grandpa, and it's like, she believes he's real. That's why it's fake. So that's the only reason why it works. So I think it's kind of like, but at the same time, if the user knows and acknowledges, like, this is someone that is not real, and they're okay with it, so maybe it's just going to be fine. But I just don't think it's the best use case for UGC. It's so much better, like, for entertainment and, for different sort of reasons. So that's really it. And one more thing. So why I think it will probably get backlash. I assume it will get some backlash once users like, so look, is this real or not? If they start questioning, it may screw up the market in overall. We may have to shift to some other type of content. So, but again, it's a good challenge, and
Right.
and I'm open-minded to see what the future brings.
Right. And just to clarify to our audience, so Donatus is talking about this fake UGC thing, which has AI generated content, which is not real content at all. So, Donatus, my next question is, like, how should brands navigate this landscape where AI content is including celebrities? It's creating, completely new worlds, new brands, presentations. So how should brands navigate this?
You mean in terms of using AI generated content?
Yeah, I mean, there is a way of, presenting your product, let's say in a video, right?
Yeah.
With AI, we can use, unrealistic presentations.
Yeah.
So should brands do that, and how should they navigate it?
Yeah. So I think they should make a decision and think like 1 year ahead. Imagine people start questioning every video that comes on, and they'll be like, so this looks real, and should I believe in it or not? And if they start questioning it, and then if they find out, if they associate that brand with someone that wanted to really sort of show them some fake reality, how would they feel about that? Would there be backlash or not? Maybe there won't be. But I think that just brands have to decide and take a bet. Because at the end of the day, the users will decide whether this sticks or not. It's not me, it's not other platform. I can just make a bet, but the users in general, they'll be like, okay, so I'm okay with this AI generated UGC. I don't care. So if the user says that, okay, so we will have to adapt as well. But they may not. You have some companies in the world today, like I think Airbnb, for example, they're very cautious of even using influencers. So never mind the AI avatars. You know what I mean? So yes. So it's a different. It's an interesting one. Although with that said, like, I'm not saying AI generated content is here. It's just like another way to produce content. I don't want to sound like I'm a villager saying electricity is not good. Years ago, I'm still good with a candle. But I think, we have to decide what to do with it, And my main point here is whether you want to say you want to show the user something and kind of trick them that it's real and it's not. That's probably the main point.
Right. And let's tackle this question from creator side after we have tackled it from brand side.
Yeah.
You recently said, we are not replacing humans, we are helping them scale.
Yeah.
So how do you see data, helping AI, helping creators become more strategic without losing their voice?
So also creators have to make a decision whether they want their face to be cloned, because there are no limits to what they will say afterwards. It's going to be a matter of
That's a good
prompt. So
point.
whoever someone can prompt something in industries that they may not want to be associated with, and then if the brand sees that face and they're very the brand safety is very important for them. So I think creators should be very cautious of this in the first place. But with that said, I think they should be thinking of how to use AI tools and how to compete in the market in the first place. So I think what the future brings is that definitely the way we produce content changes. Definitely now, the more and more is going about, it's like data games. We have to look at the numbers. We have to look at what performs. And that's exactly what we're building. So our goal as a platform is to provide creators and the brand like a direction that has the highest potential to perform. And using AI, using data is like, then it's like how to do it.
Right.
So I think that is how we should think about it. That's how creators should think about it. Because at the end of the day, they're like an extension of the brand marketing team.
Right. Do you see the creators becoming like platforms, just like Twitter's example? Twitter works with, the local government's regulations. In India, for example, Twitter will have certain guidelines. In US, it will have different guidelines. So if a creator clones, let's say Ronaldo sells the rights to his clones. In India, it's going to talk with Indian regulations. In Lithuania, it's going to talk with Lithuanian guidelines. Do you see the progression going there? Do you see the mega creators like Mr. Beast, Speed will be localized at some point like the platforms?
Honestly, I don't have like a strong opinion on this, but what I believe the problem is now with all these artificial characters is the consistency. They're not yet that consistent. So that's probably it. But if the users know that this is not a real person, but it's a character. But if the character is consistent and they start to trust it, the character is representing some values over time and is consistent with a tone of voice and opinion. So I don't see why it would not work.
Yeah.
It's like, as you mentioned earlier, like video games. I've played a ton of video games. I watched a ton of Netflix shows and all TV shows, and I fall in love with the personalities. So yeah. It depends on the story. It depends on the context. If people believe that this person is artificial and it's consistent, it may work.
Right. What is your favorite video game, by the way, of all time?
Wow. We need another podcast for this. let me let me think. Favorite video game of all time. Wow.
Are you an action guy or are you like adventure?
Yeah, action guy.
Okay.
Diablo 2.
Oh, Diablo, nice. I like that.
And then I played a shitload of Counter-Strike.
Counter-Strike. Oh my God. You need your friends. You need so many, a great setup.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Speaking of, great setups, perfect segue for me to talk about what we are doing at Phyllo. So we are working on brand safety side of creator marketing, helping agencies and brands to vet influencers, past content for risks through social media screening APIs. So in a world where creators are the faces of the brands, how important is automated influencer vetting to you, especially when UGC is being amplified with ad spend?
Yeah. So first of all, I've never touched what you guys are building.
Okay.
So I'll be transparent with that. But the idea of it for me sounds very good. It is important from a perspective that it's very important for brands to have the safety. And I suppose maybe some ideas for functionality. So I've been talking with a lot of people at Meta's office, like people who manage their account managers, like advertisers. And one of the things that they mentioned consistently was brand safety. And so what I'd be interested in, and I think it would definitely be like a feature for the future, whether the creator was, again, I'm repeating myself, but whether the creator is associated with cloning their face, for example.
Yeah.
And then what brands was that creator associated with? So a brand does not, some brands are very, very sensitive with with the faces that they work with. So I think that part is really important. So what they said, who they work with, if they clone their face, and So that would be main things I wanted to mention.
Yeah. At Billow's, scale, have you ever seen a campaign hit a roadblock because, of a creator's past? They may have some, troublesome association, or they may have said something troubling. So have you ever faced it? First of all, that's my question.
Honestly, we haven't run into like a critical problem.
Okay, that's great.
But with that said, we have our own sort of vetting system before the creator even gets their hands on the brand. We have a few critical steps that we want to find out about them, and so far we've been good with it. But as we go further, and especially do this data game, and especially now that there's they can clone faces, there's a lot of AI content. So the things that I've mentioned are, I think it would be a very nice feature.
Right. Can you talk about how do you vet influencers? Is it all manual? Is there any tool that you use? How long does it take?
So honestly, like for years, we haven't actively done any creator or influencer reach out to join our platform. It's all word of mouth. So I'm very proud of that.
UGC. Yeah.
So like it's word of mouth. They recommend it. We build a brand for it, and as well as that, like it's a blessing and a curse. Like a lot of us association with our brand is that it's a place to start your journey and then go somewhere else, and we're changing that. So I hope a lot of creators and brands hear that now. It's not just a place to start. There's going to be a lot more work soon. The vetting is pretty simple. Like our main thing is to understand how well they articulate in front of a camera, how well they can follow the brief, because that is the main difference. Influencer marketing was mostly about likes, shares, comments, creating for the followers, and the way we do things is you have to follow the brief. You have to work with the brand because it's like a performance game. As well as that, creators can get very good, and I love it when they start suggesting things, what to do, what to say. So we look at that. We kind of test them, see what gear they use, as well as that, and do some background check. But it's just pretty straightforward. Like we have a playbook for this, and it's our internal thing.
Right. Speaking of social listening, how do you see it play a role in helping brands course correct or respond to cultural shifts while using UGC content?
So social listening and like posting is very good for like signals to find performance and to find what audiences resonate with and what sort of creators are speaking about your brand. I suppose the biggest advantage here is for the bigger brands, more established ones, because they have more noise. They've been around the block a lot more. So it's probably better for them. The brands that are starting off, maybe it's not the best thing yet, but the earlier you start to do it, the better. I think I was recently in Meta's office, as I mentioned, in London here and Dublin. So Meta have even built their own tool that is all with like AI algorithms, like it's recommended creator content, I think it's called, and it's to do with social listening as well. So obviously it's a big part of a game. Now, is it been leveraged by the most? Is it used by most of people? I cannot answer that, but I think it makes a lot of sense, especially to find the performance signals and signs of what people like and don't like about your product.
Right. If you had to look into a crystal ball, what kind of tools, partnerships, or tech integrations do you think will define the next chapter of creator economy platforms like yours?
So everything that we're building. So I think like the future is very much about data and context, and obviously leveraging AI for speed. That's exactly what we're doing. We're shifting from like a platform, from creating just content for ads, to actually creating a system that suggests what ad to create and gives the performance data back creators and suggestions and actually iterations. So I think really the future is about building systems that are performance oriented, and where brands with creators work on performance goals and not just like random actions. So obviously the data back workflows is like one thing, then adding AI to it to make it more efficient, smart, directional. And then agentic workflows like this, I find this quite fascinating, where the system can do a lot of work and you can scale a human being a couple of times, or maybe 10 times or even more. So So obviously, but to be frank and honest, I think a lot of us are still don't even understand what that means. We're just talking about it. AI this, AI that, agentic
Yeah.
this, agentic
Much
that.
talk on LinkedIn. Yeah.
There's a lot of noise, but I think there's a lot of sense in that in terms of optimizing and being faster and being smarter. Like we can already grasp this and we understand where it's going. And like with the recent ChatGPT update yesterday, I don't know if you saw it, they actually publicly released the first actual agent that looks like it's an agent. So definitely check that out. I believe it's going to be in the back end of many companies.
Yeah.
So that's where our head is right now.
Okay. And can you talk about this, immediate future in context of Billo? What you're building right now? What can we expect from Billo in one? If you can talk about it.
Yeah, of course. As I've mentioned, for years we've been like a one-trick company, which basically you outsource UGC for ads, and we've been very good at it. We're number one in the category. There are millions and millions of dollars being spent on our ads worldwide. We know that because like we're like a top 10 Meta's creative partner worldwide. But with that said, we want to tap into the ad spend, to the workflows of performance marketers. So what to expect from Billo is that creators are going to have way more jobs, not just create content. There's going to be more. They're going to be paid for posting. They're going to be paid for partnership ads. And we work our asses off to make the best partnership ads experience this year. So you can expect a system where you find a data-backed creator, you find a data-backed direction, what angle or what direction to take to hit performance. And then you can expect suggestions for the next steps and actual iterations of the content for the next step. So we're building a system, and I'm very, very excited about it. Like we've been building this performance data layer, as we call it, for like the past 6 months, and now we're just implementing everything on top of it. So Billo is becoming a system.
Sounds great. Sounds wonderful. Then there's a couple of rituals we make our guests go through at the end of the interview.
Yeah.
Please give us a book recommendation. It can be your all-time favorite or something that you're reading right now. That's the first one.
Okay, so the maybe not to think too hard from it. It's all-time favorite. I can't do it. Sorry. Like this is just too many.
What are you reading right now?
Eat the Frog. I actually was listening to it yesterday. Let me just quickly check. It was
Eat the Frog. Okay, it's productivity and yeah. So you're an Audible guy. You like to listen to audiobooks? I
like to listen. I also have a Kindle. But listening lately is a good hack. I'm very much of a YouTube fan. I love the podcast as well. I listen to that. But Eat That Frog is what I'm listening now. It's productivity. I'm a non-fiction fan.
Got it.
Yeah, but honestly, the one that really changed me a lot was Atomic Habits, when I really embodied it and understood that I'm just a machine. I'm like an LLM or a chatbot that has this lack of context. If I want to change me, I have to change my habits, because we're just a bunch of habits. And then when I realized this, a lot of things changed. But you have to grasp it. You just have to understand that you have to break the freaking system to change yourself, and then things around change. So that one for me was fascinating, like years ago. So I really wanted to mention that.
Wonderful. And the second ritual is, would you like to nominate someone like you for our show? Maybe someone else who's building out of Lithuania, or somebody from your network?
Maybe Daniil from Incense. I met this guy. Although it's like a platform where we're in the same space, we can call us competitors, but I don't know. I like the guy.
Got it, Donatas. Thank you so much for your time. What you're building at Billo is amazing. You are, someone who's leading, in this space. You're in the top 10 creative partners of Meta. So, of course, clearly many agency folks, creators are, looking at you. You're building new wonderful things. Thank you for sharing, all the, wisdom with us. Really like your choices in video games. Really, really like the way you inculcated Atomic Habits into your life. Being a reader myself, I'm always up to talk about books, video games, and everything. So my pleasure hosting you.
Can I have one more question, Shubham?
Please go away. Nobody has asked me any question.
Exactly. I wonder. I want to know. Probably. What are you reading right now?
I'm reading The Invisible Man by H.G. Wells.
Is this
Science
fiction?
No,
Okay.
science fiction,
Okay.
not non-fiction. I'm a big science fiction guy. I like Ready Player One, and then I am reading now The Invisible Man. I like the fantastical world building. So yeah, that's what I'm reading.
Interesting. Thank you.
Thank you, Danata. So this is the first time somebody has asked me a question on my podcast, so something new.
Cool.
Really fun episode. Really enjoyed it. And thanks to our audience for sticking with us. Please let us know what you thought of this. Comment wherever you can. We will put the Nathas's LinkedIn profile in the introduction of this video. We'll also put a link to the Billo app wherever we are posting this podcast. Stay tuned for the next one. Cheers.
Cool. Thank you, man, and thanks everybody. Bye.
Impulse, the influencer marketing podcast, is brought to you by Phyllo. Phyllo is the easiest way to get access to authenticated creator data from hundreds of different platforms. To know more about Phyllo, visit getphyllo.com. That's get, PHYLLO.com. Also, make sure to search for Influencer Marketing Podcast in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube Podcasts. And don't forget to click subscribe so you don't miss out on any future episodes. On behalf of the team here at Phyllo, thank you so much for listening.